We're perched above the magnificent rolling mountains of Mizoram at the helipad of the Counter-Insurgency and Jungle Warfare School in Vairengte. And we have with us Major General Vinod Nambiar, who is the Commandant of the CIJWS.
Thank you, Amitabh. It's so nice that you came over, and you and your team. We are looking forward to a wonderful time with you, and hope to show you or showcase the activities here at CIJW School.
The pleasure's all been ours, and thank you so much for the opportunity, General. So if we just talk about the school itself and its uniqueness, what we saw, we've seen captured weapons.
Okay.
So tell us and our viewers the story behind that, and what I'm trying to get at as the uniqueness of this institution, that it's not just a training ground.
Yeah. Actually, that's a very interesting observation of yours. While we are named as Counter-Insurgency and Jungle Warfare, the jungle warfare aspect of it has not come out as much in our daily conversation. And one of the best aspects of that is the captured weapons that you saw. So in 1971 war, the headquarters of this element had been given fighting troops, and it had carried out operations in these Chittagong hill tracts. And the then commandant, he was Brigadier Anand Saru, he has been awarded a Mahavir Chakra. So that's one of the biggest things, or the second biggest honor that we could have got for conducting operations. And the captured weapons that you were seeing are part of that operations over here. So while we always think in terms of our primary focus is on counter-insurgency, but jungle warfare is also a critical element. So the jungle warfare aspect of it is what we are looking in the future.
Yeah.
So as the best thing that we can teach to them, or the conventional forces, is the asymmetric capability that is available to us. And historically, again, if you see, we had participated in Chindit operations, which was done in Myanmar in the Second World War, wherein whole battalions had gone into it, and thereafter they lived off the land and continued to operate against the Japanese. This is a similar context, but in a different scope and scale is what we are now propagating as we move into the future, into conventional aspects. The same drills and procedures that we are talking about, and the same capability, the fighting capability, is now gets coupled with technology.
Yeah.
And we are talking about not only our technology, we have to look at the technology which is available with the adversity. In that manner, it's a constant evolution that is taking place, and we are at the forefront. We are already ahead of the loop. We have already started training. A lot of, at least 4 groups have already gone past. And it's a combination. We are getting homogeneous groups also, and we are getting people from different battalions who would come here, look into this asymmetric warfare capability, and then be able to carry forward from there, and maybe they form the nucleus to train their own troops in that manner.
Let me break down some of the points you've raised and flesh them out, maybe, if you can, for us. You're talking about the name of the school itself, CIJWS, Counter-Insurgency and Jungle Warfare. Now, though both would have elements that kind of mesh, they are two complete separate realms. So if you want to elaborate a little bit more on...
Actually, if you look at it, jungle is inherent in the terrain over here. So when we are talking of counter-insurgency, it is there in this area, and therefore we will be conducting operations in the jungles.
Yeah.
But it is not pure jungle warfare. Jungle warfare is something like what I talked to you about, staying in the jungle itself or in similar terrain and then be able to exploit it. Now what jungle does is it provides excellent camouflage, concealment, but simultaneously it reduces the range of your optical equipments. What you can see works both ways. Then a lot of technology which can normally be employed to look at you or identify or acquire targets cannot function properly over here. Like even if you, let's say, if you want to put a long LMG in a particular area, you may not get the range because of the vegetation. So in the olden days, in the pure jungle warfare, when they used to cut a hole through the jungle or through the undergrowth to get the correct killing ground and the effect. Now in counterinsurgency, jungle is available, but counterinsurgency is not purely in jungles only. It would be a rural area, slightly semi-rural, semi-urban, urban, and they're all intermixed. Because when we go into the town, we could be, following a guy into a semi-urban who might escape or who might run away into a rural area or gets into the jungles next door. So then automatically the transition has to take place from a semi-rural area and the chase gets into a jungle. That is what is normally happening in a counterinsurgency. Or you go purely into the jungle to look at hideouts, to hit a hideout based on your intelligence or whatever that has been available to you. So the counterinsurgency enmeshes jungle also. So jungle is also. Whereas jungle warfare in a conventional realm is totally different, wherein you are utilizing the complete terrain and the vegetation for carrying out excellent operations against the enemy. And especially so if you are in your own terrain. Then you would have mapped out everything. Every nook and corner, every stream, every corner of the stream, every spur which is going up, every re-entrant, and then anyone coming in or anyone in that area, you would be able to wreak havoc on it.
Again, since you mentioned terrain and we're seeing some of it like from the vantage point of the helipad itself, the reason for the school being located here and your, if I can use the word, philosophy of training, which is the best simulation is in the actual as real as possible scenario that the warriors will face. If you want to talk about that.
Actually, if you see the evolution of counter or insurgency, Mizoram was not the first one. It started in Nagaland and Manipur earlier. Then even parts of Assam had that kind of an issue. But when it started here in Mizoram, it was one of the most violent ones. And that is the reason why they chose this particular place. And this was the staging area from where the troops started inducting. So at that time there was a felt need that we need to have a training. Initially, actually, they had put it near the Shillong. But then they realized that we need something over here itself, right at the background of one of the most violent insurgencies. And that is why it finally got stabilized over here, despite peace happening here, but insurgencies continuing in Manipur, Nagaland or in Assam much later also.
You mentioned a lot on technology a little earlier, General Nambiar, in terms of how you and the adversary are both constantly evolving and using technology. Simple things that we've seen on the ground in your training, say for example, thermal sights that you are using to identify the adversary and how you can counter them possibly, if not already, having the same thermal sights. But that's a cycle that will continuously go on. So you want to talk about how evolving technology in this kind of warfare is going?
I agree with you. Like one simple aspect that I can talk to you about is the drones itself. Now the insurgents, now talking purely about the insurgency aspect. Now insurgents can use, this is dual to use technology. He can use it is used in agriculture, it is used for mapping your fields, it is used for, just pure photography. But now it has got a armed role also. The militant can have access to the equipment and he uses it for surveillance. Now it's a 3D, he is taking it from the sky, quite far away, he can pick you up, all that kind of it. So it's a dual form of technology which is going to be used in insurgency. And now if it is an aerial platform and the various technologies that you want to put it over there. So on the same aerial platform you can put a thermal imager, you can put a day optical sight, you can put a image intensifier, you can maybe also, if the drone is big enough, you could put electronic warfare equipment on it. So depending upon the size or the capability of the equipment, now you have so much changes or the effect based operations that you want. It can be done in different ways.
That, we're basically talking a lot about, if I'm using the terminology correctly, unconventional warfare or asymmetric warfare. But I'm saying, how do you prepare for something like what they do? Because they are trying to outwit you, you are trying to counter them, like the same cycle that we were talking about.
That is one aspect of it where the Faculty of Studies is there in Counter-Insurgency Jungle Warfare School. And since every day we are going on ground, we are walking, then we are able to evolve the correct drills.
So you're constantly evolving.
Constantly evolving.
And taking feedback.
Feedback, and then this drill, we give it back to the active formation. The active formation thereafter modifies it to their terrain and the conditions, and we get a feedback. So it's a continuous loop. It's a continuous loop. It's something what we used to also call the observe, orient, decide and act, OODA loop. So we would like to be ahead of them.
Yeah.
But sometimes, yes, they will bring in something new. Then it's reactionary. But presently, I think we are ahead in that aspect.
Just following up from what you're saying in there, General, in terms of counter-insurgency jungle warfare, say for a lay person, somebody who's not so clued into the aspects, it would seem as separate from, say, the Indian Army's conventional role in fighting an adversary, which is another army. But can a conventional army, apart from, say, internal situations, also learn from your training an XYZ officer, NCO, JCO, in aspects of counter-terrorism and jungle warfare? When they go to a place where they are dealing with so-called conventional warfare, are there aspects that not only they individually, but the unit can...
Well, it's my personal view now that I'm talking about this is, this is giving him a live situation. Actually, this is a live combat will harden him for actual combat. Yeah. So this is a larger, smaller, semi-controlled environment where he can take a break also. If there is combat, you think that we should not fire or something is there, he can take a break, which cannot be happening in conventional realm. So now this is the perfect situation wherein someone is trying to kill him. Now with that kind of a battle hardiness, when he goes into actual combat, he will do wonderful. The issue, what certain carry forward things are there, which what we are learning over here would also be there in conventional, is the field craft and battle drills. Now over here, when someone is firing at you, you have to crawl, you have to find good positions, you have to find defilated positions and things. Everything you have to look at it in that manner. Because if your bums are high, the bullet will go through that. If your head is high, the bullet will go through that. So his field craft, all those things become excellent. That is absolutely the same even in conventional realm. So how a section, a body of group, body of soldiers, how they react to fire coming onto them. who holds ground, who fires upon it, how he maneuvers, how does he go behind the enemy, how does he bring his fire onto them, his support weapons onto the enemy, is the same what he will do over here, what he will do in the convention. Over here, only thing is sometimes he might control the heavier weapons because of the civilians around, and that is our primary, that we should not hurt our own citizens. Sometimes he would control it, but if he's in the jungle and he's going for a raid over there and he's very clearly identifies that these are insurgents only, no civilians around, he would be able to use all the weapons in that manner. So the employment of the weapon, the maneuver of the soldiers, of what they are doing, is the same at the sub-tactical level, whether be it insurgency or conventional.
Absolutely. Exactly what I couldn't put in words, but you've answered the question. Fascinating so far, General. I think if we can continue this different location, let's go to the school and continue this conversation.
Okay, okay.
We're continuing our conversation with Major General Vinod Nambiar, the Commandant of CIJWS. We've talked a lot on the helipad. Just wanted to, what we obviously noticed through these days that we've been here is the young profile of everybody that you're training and the instructors as well. I want to explain that to us.
That's a good observation, actually. If you see the counter-insurgency operations, it primarily is a battalion commander and a company commander's battle. So what we have over here, over the people, the trainees whom we are trying to, are the company commanders or the future company commanders. That is why it's a young profile. A company commander invariably is a young guy. When he goes out into the field over there, now he has to handle everything. So a small impact or a small mistake or a small success, the way he would think, has a magnified or a cascading effect at the national level. So suppose he catches for him, he's just got on an operation. If he does it well, catches someone, and that guy turns out to be a leader, then it has a cascading effect at the national level. But at the same point of time, he makes a mistake. He is not able to analyze properly a certain issue, and then it might again have a cascading effect at the national level. So what a young officer is doing on ground, what a young Jawan is doing on ground, it has, in counter-insurgency, it has a effect even at the national level. I have a case in point wherein one of my company commanders, young guy, sitting over there, and he saw someone walking down the mountain, and he could, in his thermal imager, he could clearly make out the profile of a weapon, and what the militants carry was Pika. So he could make out it's a Pika. It looked like a Pika, everything was tuned to that, but a gut feeling told him, wait. So when those people came into his ambush area, he told them to stop, challenge them. And that's the time he realized that there were wood smugglers, and the Pika, the weapon that he thought the enemy or the insurgent is carrying, was actually an axe. So technology here was giving him an indicator which is different, but his gut feeling, based on his experience, based on his knowledge, based on the intelligence, based on what is happening around, the profile of the people, that gave him that gut feeling, which made him pause. So if it had gone wrong, it would have been a national issue. If it was just a small success, it would have been different. If those were actually militants and had opened fire, it would have gone in any particular direction. We do not know. But in this particular case, we're talking of a HR issue which was handled well. So it is the company commander who is on ground, who is with his troops, who is facing the maximum danger. And he needs to understand what is supposed to be done on ground. And that is the reason we are catching them young, we are training them young, so that when they become instructors in their battalions, they're able to, able to influence and train them better. The second way of looking at it is that when we catch them young and he has a long service profile, he's going to use this experience and this course, the knowledge that he learns over here, for a longer period of time. That is how we are looking at it.
It's interesting, these examples that you're pointing out in terms of the spectrum of requirements or skills or traits, or whatever word you use. On one hand, you need, and you are training them in muscle memory for their reflexes. Like, it needs to be extremely fast. Yet, on the other end of the spectrum is you still need to be patient and use your gut, which is basically experience that you learned. But my point being that the school has a philosophy of training. If you can elaborate a little bit more on that, sir.
The primary work presently, or where we focus, is counterinsurgency, and what you have told is point absolutely correct, absolutely on the point, that there is patience and there is reflex. Both have to go hand in hand. But see, as a philosophy, when we look at it in counterinsurgency, the primary focus is on the operations. The skill set that he's supposed to have to conduct operations is which he's supposed to bring from the battalion. So we are an advanced institute. We are only teaching him advanced operations at the tactical level. For that, he needs to have excellent field craft. He needs to have excellent firing standards. He needs to have radio communication aspects. He needs to be medically qualified. He should know a bit of demolition. He should be able to identify IDs. He should be able to have a psychological profile. He should be able to understand the difference between the questioning, how to extract intelligence from information. All these skills he's supposed to have. And that is how we use those skills specific to counterinsurgency is what we are teaching him. So, but at the same point of time, we understand that when he's coming from the environment to us, he may not have honed those skills. Certain of it might be rusty. But that is the reason why over here we have extensive firing, and we have new skills being brought in over here. So we refurbish him, kind of a thing. So in our philosophy, there are three key words that comes in. One is a sequential training, then is a simultaneous training, and then there is synchronized training. So initial part of the training would be sequential, wherein we are teaching him skills. The simultaneous aspect is that there would be simultaneous training of skills to the same set of people. So that it's time consuming. So while one set of body of troops is learning one skill, another body of troops is learning another skill, another body is another skill. So simultaneously a lot of actions are going on. It's not that, but at the higher level, he is learning it sequentially. Once he learns this, or refurbished, his skills come back to him, then we are using it in drills. How individual skills are important and how they will manifest in a drill. And then that drill is connected to operations. So there is therefore simultaneous activity, and then is the synchronization. So when he is going, let's say, for a raid, the synchronization of a vehicle movement, which is of convoy protection aspects of it, then he gets down in a place, it's a patrolling aspect of it, using technology in situational awareness aspects. That now all those skills that he learned, all the individual practices that he did, is now getting synchronized into a particular operation specific to counterinsurgency. So raid is there in conventional battle also. But over here, now that aspect that you mentioned, reflex versus patience. So over here, whenever we are talking about a reflex action, but there is a pause before he acquires the target and fires at it. That will not be there in conventional. In conventional is reflex and he opens. Let's go. But over here, before letting go, he has to take that momentary second more to correctly identify the target. That is the criticality in CI, because that 1 second loss, it's the gain of the insurgent or the terrorist where he might open up first. It's a trade-off which is typical to insurgency and terrorism.
In terms of the various aspects of training or different training that you inculcate with the officers and the NCOs who come in, and if you can explain to our viewers the long duration exercise that happens and how important that is in building the
Now it's typical thing, we were constantly thinking, one way of looking at it is what we were contemplating, and we practiced it also over here, that we teach him theory or the aspect of it, then we do a small drill and practice, and then we will take him out for a small exercise, just a night exercise. Now what happens is it's sequential, and he goes out into the field also, and he will learn, and he comes back fresh. So he's fresh over there, and then he is implementing it. The second part of it is that this is not what is seen in operations. If I give experience of many of us over here, and like in one particular case, we did an infiltration or we got an input about a place in the hills, mountains where the militants were supposed to be. To maintain surprise, we walked from a longer distance 2 nights to reach that place, and that's on the 3rd day, when the militants were not expecting, they did not know that we had come to that place, and that's the time they were moving out of their hide, we had a contact and we killed them. So the contact has taken place after 48 hours of movement, waiting in patience, and the water having finished by that time. So we, at night, our boys had gone and picked up water, and they told me, oh sir, it's very good water, we got water. So next day, while I was sitting and we were watching the hide, I thought of drinking the water, and when I took it out, the water was red with worms jumping, tung, 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 going all over it. I drank it, and no other option. I think it good proteins. But that's the time the contact took place. After that contact, now coming back, it took us another 24 hours under threat of militant fire. So we are talking of almost 72 hours plus of operation, extending almost to 96 hours of an operation, in which the contact itself was after 48 hours. At no point of time could you relax, could you let down your guard. When we were evaluating what kind of training we give, one way is he learns memory, very good, he understands the operation because he is fresh. But at the same point of time, we want him to face the stress of a long duration operation, wherein the contact itself is happening after a long time. So for 96 hours or so, at no second can they let off guard. And therefore, we evaluated it over here. We had a lot of discussion based on it, and then we realized that this is what we need to teach, because without stress, he will not understand the implications of various drills. So what happens is, what he can do when he can keep his weapon like this and continue to walk for a short duration, what happens when he is now to come back after having a contact, and now he's tired, now his weapon starts drooping. We might do as well do it over here, and punish him and bring him back into order, than let him do this mistake in combat. So that is one reason why we have gone into long duration exercises.
And these not only long distance exercises, but as a concept itself, to keep them on the toes constantly. You shouldn't let your guard down, as you said. You have a red versus blue scenario, right?
Correct.
So if you want to just elaborate on that.
Now this is at the sub-tactical level.
Yeah.
So when we talk about red teaming, we have at the highest levels also, at the operational and the strategic level, and then this is absolutely at the sub-tactical level, wherein the red team, so we also call it force on force. So because he's actually using force, he will actually use certain kind of ammunition on each other. So the red team is playing as an insurgent or a terrorist, and the blue team is the one which is conducting operations. And we are rotating the people. So in this exercise, there's one red team, after some time there's another. Now, by putting them as a red team, what we are trying to bring out is he sees his operations and the mistakes that they are making. He is able to see exactly the drills, what as an observer or as a militant or as a source someone is watching you do. So by doing this, what we are trying to ensure is his drills, when he is in blue team, improves. So over here, we are getting some excellent ideas. And the moment our exercises have now become a semi-controlled chaos, because the red team has been given freedom to conduct the operation whenever he wants. So it is not tutored that, okay, you will do it over here or you will do it over here. When he finds time, he does it. So then I cannot control it. So I cannot say, so we are also open. It is challenging us also, because we have to teach the right lessons, bring it out at the right point of time, but simultaneously it's not controlled. So that is keeping us on our toes. It is keeping the blue team, red team, everyone. One small interesting thing happened wherein just in this exercise, the exercise was on mobile vehicle checkpost. They had gone and established it, and the red team was coming in a vehicle. The moment he saw these people establishing, and the intelligence had been given that this set of vehicles would have militant carrying weapon, things like that, and that is what they were targeting. The moment this guy saw the militant who's playing red team, the moment he saw there's a checkpoint, he got out, wore a lungi, because that is what the local dress is. He wore a local dress. He was there, picked up a basket, and over there's brooms are being made. Put some brooms, put a weapon, and he started walking across. Now the blue team was focusing on the vehicle, and this chap walked past. So the militant with a weapon walked past. Now and he took a video also, as if he was walking and is talking, and he's taken a video of that and he went away. Now that's important. Now the complete focus of these people, which was on the vehicle and the people inside it, not realizing that the militant has dismounted and walked past. It was a very, very interesting lesson that they were able to bring out themselves. Otherwise, how much ever we teach, it may not come out in the right manner. So when they have done it themselves, they can understand that this is possible. And the lessons that they draw from it and the experience that they draw from it is tremendous.
Talking about lessons again, General, what is the expectation that you have finally at the end of a course from the warriors that you've trained?
Before that, okay, you have been here for some time. So let me ask you, what did you like best?
I think the amount of live firing that your boys do,
Okay.
and I've never seen it anywhere else.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's nice.
Uh,
So that actually, now, sometimes when we talk about technology coming in and we say, should we have simulators? I'm not too much for simulators because we are simulating the battle conditions now in the best situation. He is thinking, is going in a walking jungle, and he actually triggers a ID. There can be no better simulation than that. Luckily, he's not getting injured, but rest everything he's triggering. The militants or the red team acting as militants will fire on them. So that is, yeah, we are looking at extensive firing. We have a lot of ranges. You would have seen that. What did you like?
Like reflex firing and jungle aim firing.
Okay, what was it about that you liked?
So boys were moving very well and reflex was very good.
Okay,
Yeah.
what about you?
just visualizing what it would be like in because of the intensity of the training that you're providing them and like saying he's talking about live fire. I guess what he's trying to get at is you're making it as realistic, which is what you're trying to say, as possible. What would it have been like if we were filming in another couple of months, say, when both heat, humidity, and monsoon, and when your boys are doing exactly what they're doing now, and we had one experience. For us, it was heavy showers, but for you, I guess it wasn't. In the night when we went for patrolling in the jungle, but that must be
Oh, it's
if you get
in the
through that.
senses at that point of time when it's monsoons, hot and humid, each person is having ORS at least 3 or 4 times in a day. And despite that, we have at least 4 or 5 people coming into the MI room dehydrated. The effect of the humidity is huge on the body. Lots and lots of people falling off, dropping off, cramps, problems, in addition to, insects and other things which multiply. All those other issues are there. But it is really tough. So actually, you should come at that point of time. Hopefully, you do not have to put a drip.
And we try and take you up on your initial suggestion before we started this, which is to try and do the course ourselves while we are filming, which I
Yeah,
think will be practically
correct.
impossible for
Yeah.
somebody like us. But
So, yeah, so that's a very good option that you become a trainee and film you of over 2 months,
I'll be on drip day -1. So before I reach
or
here.
maybe this young guy.
So just coming back again, sir, to that, what is it that you expect your trainees to take back after the course?
Uh, what we are looking at an officer when he or a Jawan or a soldier when he goes back from here is that understand the nuances of counterinsurgency. It's complicated. It needs huge patience. It's frustrating. It is morale sapping also. And the operations are continuous. You're out, there is no rest, kind of a thing, continuously at it. And then on one day, you will have an incident. So, him trying to remain alert for a period of months, the only time he can relax is when he goes back on leave. Once he comes back, he's back into it. So we have, let's say, he's going back a month on leave after 3 months. So the day he comes back into this, till 3 months, he's at it constantly. So it's 3 months of alertness, of doing repeated operations where he's not achieving success. And then an incident happening. Maybe then he goes of 1 month on leave, comes back, next 3 months, again the same kind of a thing, and maybe at the end of 5th month he suddenly has success, or he has an incident. That incident has to be converted to success. That is where the challenge lies, and that is what he has to understand. That is, if we are able to instill into that soldier and into the instructor who's going out from here, then I think we would have achieved the aim.
The aim is not just personal for that one individual. It's when he goes back to his unit, he becomes.
He's becoming an instructor. So that is another pressure on us, that I cannot just expect him to have a particular grading. I expect him to have a grading or a level of standard which is acceptable to us to be an instructor in his battalion. This is unlike other courses or kind of a thing. Most of the courses are training the trainers kind of a thing. This is also something similar, but then the situation is very, very different. The course is very, very different.
General, again at CIJWS, if you can delineate the different verticals and what their purposes are.
Now CIJW school has got 2 separate wings, and the importance equally important. One is a longish term, it might manifest later. One is immediate. So we have the courses wing, wherein we have soldiers and officers coming from across the army. Individual people come over here, learn learn the nuances of counterinsurgency and counter-terrorism, and then go back. And within those people, set of people, we even have from the paramilitary, from the Central Armed Police Forces, sometimes the CPOs, from the Air Force. Earlier we had from the Navy, foreign officers and foreign NCOs also. So this is a homogeneous mix of all those people who comes over here, but they're all individuals. And they have to learn skills, drills, and then operations. When we are, the second part of it, which is very different in its outlook, is the battalion training wing. Over here, what happens is anyone who's getting inducted, the complete battalion or company or the subgroup comes as a whole. Now, in this, what happens is the chain of command is known. So we have a soldier, we have his NCO, we have a JCO, we have the company commander, we have the battalion commander. So the whole chain of command is there. So now the complete chain of command is activated to operate. But this kind of training, what we call as a pre-induction training, they will be put through all the nuances, the firing and everything, and the operations, the drills, procedure. But the difference over here is that the moment they finish training, they are in operations.
Yeah. Immediately.
It's immediate. So the complete body of groups would be immediate. So while this is the direct implication for the army or the troops, the other aspect of it is, let's say a contingent is going to UN. So a unit training team as a biggish team would come over here, will put to the paces, learn all the aspects of it, and then go back. Then we also have foreign contingents coming in over here. So they will come as a contingent, train, then go back. We have joint training. So our contingent, their contingent, foreigners mix, understand each other, how we operate. In this particular case, what happens is we understand each other's drills and procedures.
Okay.
So that we can operate together in case a need arises. So that is what happens in a joint training. And then is the aspect is, in case there is a joint training where they have to go separately, they train over here and then they go out to a foreign country or to a joint training aspect. So this is how the battalion training wing looks after. And in addition to it, like we would have police commandos coming to us. That's on a case-to-case basis. So a complete contingent or a company of police commandos would come in. We would train them and send them back. But that's case-to-case basis.
General Nambiar, again, what really from the bottom of our heart, our whole team and our organization would like to thank you, your team, and your organization for your patience, for hosting us, giving us so much time to see what you guys do and take it out there to the world. Thank you for sharing your experience, expertise, and your time. Which is very
It is our
valuable.
privilege that you came over here. You are doing an excellent, your channel is doing an excellent work of showcasing the security concerns of the country, how it manifests, how it works on, the nitty-gritties of it. We are so delighted that you came. We feel honored that you chose us also to be over here. And the important thing is that the citizens of the country will understand what we are doing. And I hope they take confidence from our training that they are safe, that they will be looked after. Their interest is in our heart.
Thanks again, sir.
It's an honor that you came over here. Wonderful.
All ours. And for all our viewers, do send us feedback on this particular interview and all our series that we bring you from the ground. You can follow all our social media handles for the latest articles that we put up on our website and interviews like this one with Major General Nambiar that goes up on our YouTube channel. We're perched above the magnificent rolling mountains of Mizoram at the helipad of the Counter-Insurgency and Jungle Welfare. Actually, it should be that, views
Me, that's me.
views बहुत views आएंगे. Like this. बहुत views आएंगे. We perched. ये ऐसी ये वाला बहुत हिट होगा. ऐसा इंटरव्यू हो ना तो बहुत हिट होगा.
My sexy look. Baby. I'm here, baby. Come.